you in this talk. And by the grace of God, we'll continue doing our best to ensure that our relationships, our homes, and marriages work. So today we are looking at the powerful, silent, powerful wives. Silent, powerful wives. We have them, like I keep saying, they are all around us. They are there. We have those wives that don't talk much. They just don't talk much. Most times we don't even see them. We don't hear much about them. They don't make noise. Sometimes they don't wear the best dress. Sometimes they are not even as educated or outspoken as others. They are there, but they are powerful. They are powerful and they can influence a whole lot of things for good if we allow them. So there are so many of us that have wives like that. Those our wives, they are powerful, but they don't talk much. People don't even see them. Some of them don't have Facebook accounts. They are not on social media. Some of them don't even wear the trending clothes, but they are firm in their beliefs and they can influence so many things in their marriages, in their homes. If you look at 1 Samuel chapter 4, we have a story about an event there. There, the Bible talks about one prophet called Eli. Yes, Eli. He had two sons, Hophni and Phinehas. The Bible records that, a time came, the prophet became old, in fact, became blind. His two sons, that should be seen as ministers of God too, the Bible records that they were not living right. They were not treating the things of God with expected respect. Yes, the Bible has it that they were just misbehaving. And of course, they had wives too. They had wives. A time came, there was a war between the Israelites and the Philistines. And the Ark of Covenant was captured. The Ark of Covenant was captured, which was not a normal thing. It was odd. It was not expected. It brought lots and lots of disappointment. In fact, it meant so much. The Ark of Covenant being captured meant so much. Like in literature, we would call that bad omen. It was a bad omen. When Eli heard of it, the Bible records that the man fell back. Okay, in the course of that battle, Hophni and Phinehas were killed. So, widows left. When the young man heard of the deaths of the sons, the Bible said that he fell backwards on his seat. He died. Don't forget, the Phinehas' wife was pregnant, and she was at the last stage of the pregnancy. When she heard of what happened, wow, she went into labor. Yes, she went into labor, knowing that the father-in-law had died too, the husband, the brother-in-law, and that the Ark of Covenant had been captured. She knew that it wasn't a joke. The shock pushed her into labor. Of course, we believe that the shock pushed her into labor. Then she labored for a very long time. Eventually, the baby came out. Those that were attending to her, of course, wanted to make her to feel good. That even if the husband had died, the husband's brother had died, the father-in-law had died, and the Ark of Covenant was captured, at least for having given birth to a baby boy, in our society, one should expect her to rejoice and celebrate. But she looked at that child. With her last breath, she named the child Ichabod. Ichabod simply means the glory has departed. You know, when we go through the scriptures, I don't think that some of us have read so many stories about this woman. In fact, as a matter of fact, we don't even know her name. All we know about her is the wife of Phinehas. The wife of Phinehas. That's all. In fact, she didn't even have her own identity. Whatever that was known about her was based on her husband. Like some of us, you know, we don't even have our own names. It's not everybody that is like me, as in Precious Caleb, Precious Caleb, Precious Caleb. There are some people that for you to know them, need to know them through their husbands. Like some pastor's wife, they don't even have their own names. All you call them is that the wife of so pastor. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. Now, this woman, the wife of Phinehas, was the quiet woman, was a silent woman, was not noisy, was not trendy. But I learned from what happened to her and what she did, that deep inside her, she was an influential woman. It means that right inside the house, she was not supporting the wrong things her husband, her husband's brother, or even her father-in-law were doing. She didn't come out on social media to call the husband out. She didn't come out to call anybody out. But it's obvious that she was telling them, these things you people are doing, no, I am not part of it. It is not good. Do you know how I got to know? Because even at death point, at her point of death, even in pains, what should have brought her joy made her to say what she discovered with all that had been happening, that the glory of the Lord had departed. Now, my point is this. If at that point she held on to her belief, she held on to her faith, she held on to what she knew was the truth, why didn't her husband listen to her? It means that she was not part of the bad things the husband and the family members were doing. We have women like that. We have some wives like that. Husbands will not allow them to be heard. Sometimes when they want to give advice or give suggestions, their husbands will shut them down. Keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. And as they are shutting them down, they are making mistakes. And the mistakes they are making, those mistakes are increasing, almost causing more serious troubles. We have those wives around us. Some of them are not good in English language. They don't speak good English. Some of them, they didn't go to school, so they don't even have the courage to confront us like others would. You understand? But silently in our homes, in the families, they will call their husbands and say, nah, this one you're doing is not good though. Election is by the corner. Those wives are at home telling their husbands, this noise you're making about this person you're trying to put into governance, this person that you're campaigning for, my hands are not there. I am telling you that this person is not good. Look at the suffering people are going through in this country. Are you not satisfied with the suffering people are going through? Why would you want this to be? We have women like that. They stay in their homes and they try to say the truth to their husbands. But their husbands are not listening to them. Those that even try to listen, maybe some people are going to say, listen to your wife. They listen, but they did not take the suggestions. They did not take the ideas. They didn't take the points those their wives were making. And most times at the end of the whole thing, when they have finished causing trouble, the troubles that will come out of the whole thing is the women that will still suffer it. Their women will be the ones suffering. they will cause trouble outside, and their women will remain inside and be treating the wound, be facing the pains of the troubles they have caused. Those women are there. My pain is that we don't even recognize them. Look at how what Phinehas' wife did while she was dying has become a lesson for all of us. So many of us, the only time we celebrate our wives is when our wives have died. Some ministers of the gospel in particular, they are too busy with ministry. They are too busy attending to people. They don't have time to listen to their wives. Yes, they don't have time for their wives. When they misbehave in ministry, when they try to mismanage the church money, when they talk to people anyhow, when they preach one kind message, they come home, their wives will tell them, this one, oh, why not? This would have been, God called me, not you. Don't put your mouth in anything I'm doing. Even if I carry the whole church offering and enter one eatery and finish the money, just like Hophni and Phinehas were doing. Even if I carry, don't worry. And their wives will be like, child. Because when the men are slayed, the women will be frustrated. I've told women severally, women are not really Satan's headache. Satan is out to destroy men. And the easiest way to destroy men is to take men's ears away from their wives. Their good wives, yes. They won't want them to hear what their wives are telling them. Because last, your wife will tell you the truth. Because she has invested so much in that marriage. She left other men. You have disfigured her. She's not as charming as she used to look in those days. Maybe she might not be looking as fresh as she used to look. So she knows that she has put in so much in that marriage, in that home, in that family. So she has so many things at stake. And she'll be telling you, I beg, this thing you're doing, please don't do. Say, don't. And when the whole thing comes back with troubles, women will still be the ones bearing the pains and going through all the challenges. So in your family this week with Precious Caleb, we are saying that there are so many wives that are like that. We call them the wives of Phinehas, the wives of those men that don't take advice, that don't hear, that will not take advice, that will not take counsel. When you tell them, I beg, this one, don't do like this, they'll feel like you don't know. Allow them. They know what they're doing. Any man that keeps telling the wife, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. What I'm doing is clear. That man is making mistakes. Phinehas and Hophni, they were making mistakes. And with what we gathered, this woman was telling them, they did not hear. So the woman was living in pain. The woman was living in emotional torment. Her ideas were always suppressed. Are you getting what I'm saying? But eventually, when things went wrong, she bore the last pain by going into labor when she was not supposed to go into it. And when the baby came out, she used that baby to pass message across, telling us that although we did not hear her, that she knew that things were not going on well. And with her understanding and firm relationship with God, that she knew what it means for the Ark of Covenant to have been captured. So she named her son. That should have been the best offer. What should have been used to be remembering her as Ichabod, just to pass the message across. There are so many women like that. There are so many wives like that. They live in pains. They know what to do, but they are not allowed to do those things. They know the right thing to do, but they are not given the opportunity to do. They have knowledge, they have understanding, they have wisdom, but they are not often listened to. This afternoon, in your family, this week with Precious Caleb, we admonish men to please start listening to their wives. Their wives are rewards and blessings from God for them. If you're listening to me right now and you find it difficult to listen to your wife. If you find it difficult to take some suggestions, not that you take all the suggestions, but always listen and know that your wife will tell you the truth, an outsider may not tell you. The time you begin to misbehave in the church, the time you begin to misbehave in politics, the time you begin to misbehave in your place of work, the time you begin to behave abnormally even in your neighborhood, it's your wife that will sincerely tell you the truth, except you have suppressed her to the point that even when you're dancing naked in the public, she won't even tell you. That is your own problem. But if you still have a wife that can tell you, this one is not good though, I'm not insisting that you must stop, but I'm telling you that this one is not good. I beg, listen to that wife. Listen to your wife. When you listen to your wife, it will save you lots and lots of trouble. There are people that come around you from time to time. You may not know what they have done that is making your wife uncomfortable around them. Just listen to your wife. Watch your wife's countenance when those people come around you. Whether they come to visit in the house, whether they stand with you on the road, whether they talk with you, whether they chat with you on phone, whether they always, whatever, just watch the countenance and the response of your wife. Sometimes your wife may not tell you, this is what this person has done, but there is something in your wife that can detect danger. Sometimes your wife may not know exactly why, but her spirit has a way of rejecting some people around you. Some will say, what is it? Just like Phinehas' wife. What is it, self? What is it? Nobody has even mentioned her name in the Bible. She doesn't even have a name. She doesn't have certificate. She's not reigning. She doesn't even have social. She doesn't have any handle in social media. What is it, self? When people that know something are talking, she too should come out to talk. No. Excuse me. That your wife is a gift from God, and that your wife can save you from trouble, danger, if you listen to her. Had it been Phinehas, Hophni and Phinehas had time to listen to the counsel of their wives, especially this one, maybe they wouldn't have been killed. Maybe the ark wouldn't have been captured. You remember the time of Pontius Pilate? The Bible records that the wife woke up and said, Broso, my husband, let your hand not be in the death of this man. What I saw. Pilate almost acted based on the wife's, what the wife said. But maybe because of ego, because of his position, because of political pressure, because of enticement, because he didn't want to lose a particular relationship outside, he damned what the wife told him, went ahead and handed Jesus over to be crucified. So in most of our creeds now, we always mention his name, that he was crucified during the time of Pontius Pilate. But I believe that if Pilate had listened to the wife, his name wouldn't have been ringing in a negative way from generation to generation. Phinehas did not listen to the wife. I should believe too that Phinehas allowed his brother to maltreat the wife, to look down on the wife. Maybe to an extent, the father of Phinehas didn't even know how to control the situation. So the woman swallowed all she could have said, or swallowed the pains she got from all she had told the husband. And that thing happened. There are some men that don't want to hear what their wives are saying. They rather take advice from people outside. They rather take advice from their brothers, from their sisters. They rather take advice from their colleagues, their friends, their church members, or distant person than listen to their wives or take advice from their wife. But they've forgotten that when all the people have gone, it will still be himself and the wife. So my admonition this evening is this. Please, as much as we can, husbands, start giving attention to your wives. Those wives, God gave them to you as your gifts. Yes, gifts from God. Learn to listen to them. Hear from them from time to time. Don't shun them. Don't make them feel like whatever they are saying cannot, whatever they are telling you cannot mean anything to you. Please don't let them feel like that, because a time will come, if they notice that is how you make them feel, they will start withdrawing information. If they hear that they are killing somebody at that junction, they will not tell you, because they have known already that you don't listen to them, you don't believe them, you don't take what they are telling you as important things. There are so many men out there that have been wasted, that have run into trouble, because they acted like Hophni and Phinehas. They refused to listen. Now that Hophni has died, Phinehas has died, their father has died, the child that was given birth to, called Ichabod, what have they gained? Women, we know that there are so many of us that are hardly listened to. When we bring our suggestions, they don't seem to listen to what we are saying. They think that we are just talking too much, that we just talk too much. I want to encourage every woman listening to me, don't allow the way they disregard you to make you to keep truth or secrets from your husband. Because that is exactly what the enemy wants. The enemy wants you out of the way so that your husband can easily be destroyed. So what are you supposed to do? Don't wait till you are at the point of death before you say your mind. Because the only time we heard something from the wife of Phinehas was at the time she was about to die. Women refuse to speak only at the point of death. Now that you're still alive, now that you're agile, now that you're still healthy, now that you're still productive, let your voice be heard. I challenge every woman listening to me now. Let your voice be heard. Your voice should be heard in family meetings. Let your voice be heard in the family meetings. When they gather to have family meetings, please carry your chair and be there. Hear what is being said and put your own opinion without insulting anybody. Because that particular opinion you forward can save your family from troubles and other inexplainable dangers. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Had it been that Phinehas' wife was noisy, disturbing, saying no, possibly go to church and say, members of the church, you see, I've talked to my husband. I'm not telling you to do this one. No. I'm saying that if the wife of Phinehas had gone to that point, I've said it, this thing now that my husband is doing with the brother, I am not part of it. Please, church members, see how you can stop them. Political party members, please talk to my husband. These people that elected him to power, they are suffering. They cannot buy fuel. They are not paid salary. Please, you people should talk to my husband though. Let him do the right thing, because these people are paying him from their sweat. They elected him to that office, trusting that he will make their lives better. This thing my husband is doing now, my hands no dey there. We expect women to rise up at this time and not wait to speak only at the point of death. They should rise up and say no to some things that are going wrong in the society. Women should rise up and say no to things going on in our religious places, in your places of worship, in your places of work, in your places of transactions. Women, stop keeping your mouth shut. Learn to open up and let us know. If you try your best and your husband does not hear, locate somebody that your husband listens to. Locate somebody that your husband respects. Approach that person and say, please call your brother, call your friend, call your boss, call this person to order. I have been talking. He doesn't want to take my own, but I know the impending danger. I don't want that danger to take. Please call so person to order. Women, rise up and deliver your husbands from danger. Because the wife of Phinehas, if you refuse to act, they will still kill your husband in the war front. And the Ark of Covenant will still be captured. So you rise up. When you see your husband doing things that he's not supposed to do, please open up and talk. Tell him, disturb him. If he calls it nagging, I beg, increase it. Because a time will come, you feel like, this one is too much. Like that persistent widow in Luke chapter 18, that was always troubling that unrighteous judge. And the man said, the way this woman is disturbing me, if I don't settle her, she will keep disturbing me. Let me now, do what she wants me to do. And that was how that widow got what she wanted. So women, start from now, begin to, they will not kill you. They will not destroy you. They will not harm you. And if you sense that they will harm you, there is no husband you have that does not have anybody he's afraid of his respect. It is not true. Every man has somebody above him. My father taught me that when a place is far, behind a far place, there is another village. So no matter how stubborn you think your husband is, there is somebody that your husband is afraid of. There is somebody that when your husband hears the name, your husband will maintain. Approach your husband. Tell him if he doesn't want to change, approach that person that he has regard for. And that person will talk to him and he will change. And if he doesn't change, there are some other ways you can help him to change. Because look at this woman now. The husband has died. Husband's brother died. Father-in-law died. And all she had to say was to express her faith. That she had faith in God so much that she understood two things of the spirit. That she knew what capturing the Ark of Covenant signified. But it had not brought any solution to the problem. So before we get to that point, let us try and do damage control. Women, rise up and talk to your husbands. Those that are married to pastors, please talk to your husbands. Talk to your husbands. Those that are married to politicians, talk to your husbands. Those that are married to civil servants, talk to your husbands. What we are saying is open up and talk to them. If they don't want to take what you're saying, please approach anybody that can call them to order. Because the wife of Phinehas, if you don't pester him, if you don't go extra miles to stop him, to stop them from this attitude, look at them. They are going to the war front. They will certainly be killed. And even the father-in-law will go. And if you eventually give birth to a baby, that baby will be a representation of lost glory. So in our talk today, in your family this week with Precious Caleb, we are saying that there are so many wives who are silent but powerful. We want them now to please rise up, open up to their husbands. So they should open up to their husbands and help their husbands to stop some bad things they are doing. And if you talk to them, they are not changing, please go on your knees. Of course, that should be part of you, ab initio. Learn to labor in prayers for your husband. Women, learn to pray for your husband. There are some things your husbands are doing that are not normal. Some things your husbands are doing, they don't like them. Let me now tell you. Okay, you wife looking at me, you're complaining that your husband doesn't give you money. Your husband is not working. He's not serious. Your husband is pursuing women up and down. Let me tell you, when a man chose to get married, he had planned that his life will get better. And if at a point he noticed that in all he's doing, some things have not been working out, he will start behaving in a way to tell you that he is looking for satisfaction. He's hungry for something. Some of them is not because they don't love you, but there is an influence that is working on them. Some of those could be physical, some economical, some financial, like we talked last week, Some spiritual. Yes, I believe it so much. And I can tell you that it is real. So you should come to a point where you see that your prayers mean a lot in the life of your husband. If your husband is misbehaving, please go on your knees and labor in prayer for your husband. Because there are so many people that want your husband dead. There are so many people that want your husband to lose, that want your husbands to lose their jobs. Women, there are some people that want your husbands to be frustrated. There are so many. Even those that are close to your husband or close to you, that want your husband to be poor, to be wretched, to be begging, and to be depending on them. They are there. From time to time, they check on you, check on your husband. They just want to know how far they have dealt to them. Just know it now. It's not everybody that is interested in your welfare. It's not everybody that wants your husband to be successful. It's not everybody that wants your husband to be married to you still. So what are you doing? It is not just in complaining. You do the talking, you pester, and on your knees, pester God. Let there be a change in your husband's life. And as you're pestering God, you're pestering that kingdom where they are trying to influence your husband, manipulate your husband. Pray. Go on your knees and pray. There is nothing that prayer cannot do in the life of a married person. So don't forget we said, the wife of Phinehas was not heard except at the point of death. Wives, you don't need to keep your mouth shut and speak only when you are about to die. Wives, learn to tell your husband the truth. And if he doesn't want to hear you, locate somebody that your husband hears. And as you are trying your best, please go on your knees and battle in the realm of the spirit on behalf of your husband. Like I said, there are so many people around you that are waiting every day to hear that your husband has died. There are plenty people that want to hear that your husband has lost his job. Their husband was caught with a woman. Their husband was caught stealing. Their husband is now wretched. Forget about their white teeth. Their white teeth can't be the same as white heart. So you take it as your duty to pray for your husband, to labor in prayer for your husband, to take care of your husband's health, take care of your husband's emotions. Listen to your husband from time to time and know what he is not telling you. Then from there, extract the truth that he needs to hear. And when your husband is becoming so demanding, always demanding, you bring him to order and tell him that is what we call godliness with contentment. Because if you don't help him, look at battle coming. Phinehas will be killed in the war front. Even their father, the prophet, will also die. And if you if you're delivered of that baby will become a carbon, because the ark of covenant had been captured by the enemies. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. May God cause your relationships, your homes, your marriages to work in the name of Jesus. Don't forget, this is your family this week with Precious Caleb. You will come your way every Sunday, 5 p.m. Every Sunday, 5 p.m. And today, we just talked about the silent, powerful wives. God bless you. I love you. See ya.